Somewhere between the last gasp of Joy Division and the glittering promise of electronic dance music, New Order made an album that didn't just bridge worlds, it built a new one entirely. Low Life is that rare mid-80s record that sounds like the future and the past holding hands at like a grimy Manchester nightclub. It's the sound of four musicians figuring out how to dance through their grief, powered by sequencers, synthesizers, and quiet, defiant melancholy. This is New Order's sweet spot record right here, the album where their post-punk ghosts and their electronic ambitions finally struck perfect balance, where earlier efforts like Movement were haunted by Ian Curtis's shadow, and later albums would lean more into the sort of club land, abandon. Low Life is their glorious middle child, introverted, fashionable, anxious, and secretly euphoric. The opener, Love Vigilantes, immediately plays tricks, accordion-like synths, and a sort of folk-ish melody that somehow makes a song about a dead soldier feel poppy. Only New Order could do this. Then comes The Perfect Kiss, 7 glorious minutes of frogs. Yes, frogs. Glittering synth, arpeggios, and Peter Hook's, of course, iconic high wire bass playing, arguably the best bass line in the 80s pop history, or at least on this side of the Atlantic. And you've got to admire the absurd bravery of including a frog sound in a potential radio single. That's Manchester spirit for you. But it's not all dance floor weirdness. This time of night and sunrise brings the lingering Joy Division coldness, icy, mechanical, and alienated, while Aliga is, straight up instrumental, mourning the soundtrack of their, loneliest late night walk. And I think that one also paid tribute to Ian Curtis. Vocally, Bernard is, wonderfully awkward here. He still sings like a man who can't decide if, he actually wants to be the front man, and that vulnerability is half the charm. His off-key, sort of murmurings of subculture and face-up are like the voice of every shy club goer who secretly wants to dance. Production-wise, this is Factory Records at its most stylishly messy. Steven's synth polish, rubbing shoulders with raw, angular guitars, and Hook's bass, turned way up in the mix like a lead instrument. You can hear the future of these grooves like, Pet Shop Boys, Depeche Mode's Pop Turn, even the Manchester scene brewing just a few miles away. So, is Low Life perfect? No. But that's why it works. It's the sound of a band kind of cracking the code between machine and man, grief and joy, gloom and groove. It's a hinge album, swinging the door open for dance music in the alternative rock world. Without Low Life, there's no Technique, no, Scrimmadilia, no LCD sound system. And let's not forget that bold album cover, an honest, literal portrait of the band members. No moody graphics or, detached factory design here. It's their faces, daring you to finally see them. Nearly 40 years now, Low Life feels like the blueprint of how the 80s grew up and learned to dance without forgetting how to feel. So if you haven't listened to this album, listen to it, check it out, let me know what you think. I love it. New Order is amazing, as always.